So we are officially not business owners.
Is that what that means? You don't
I
have
don't-
an LLC.
That's
You're
what
not a business owner.
that's what the internet wants you to believe. Like realistically. So we
be
just what was the word?
Dissolved.
3 LLCs. My fourth LLC in total, and then 3 of ours that we had one from this health and wellness thing we started at the beginning of the year, and then one that was a holding company for our other real estate one that we were kind of pitched in a group that we're in, and yeah, it's it's a waste of time and money. So many wasted, thousands of dollars wasted.
Well, I guess at
in
the
this
time
process.
we didn't know there was a better way to do that. And now that we're in the process of the business that we do have right now that's actually working is when we get to a certain point, then we do create an entity, and apparently there's an easier way to do that than what we were taught. So this is definitely one of those add to the, when you listen to people who are successful and they post their videos on things I wish I knew when I started this journey.
Well, that's why we're here right now. There's a few reasons, but the hardest thing about making these and stuff, it's like, what do I know? Like realistically, like I don't know much. Like I just know from the failures that I've had, and it's kind of coming to mind as of late that I have had a shitload of failures. So that being said, we've had so many failures in this business space, and because we have not been posting content,
That kind of makes me excited.
We have failed again. And by that I mean we are doing not only ourselves a disservice, our families a disservice, because how fun. Remember when we didn't know what the hell we were going on and we had this LLC that we were doing, but we're also doing anybody that potentially is going to, I don't want to say fall for the same thing, because I don't know if a lot of times when these things are pitched to people, the LLC creation and everything, it's necessarily them trying to scam. But
Yeah.
it's definitely way ahead of its time. And the best advice that we have received lately is
Just
go make money.
Just go out and do the work.
Go make money. Like if you're not making at least $60,000, or you have not made $60,000 a year in your business, don't worry about your LLC. Don't worry about your formation. Like don't worry about all that. It's a waste of time. Go make money.
Prove to yourself that you can do the gritty stuff and do the work and make money, and then the rest comes basically. And I understand when it comes to doing a project, doing a business, anything like that, there is usually the meat and potatoes, and then I understand that it's not uncommon for a person to feel like, okay, these are the meat and potatoes. How do I even start something to get there? Eventually I'll get there, but like there are these like prerequisite pieces, right? Like creating an LLC, like creating a business name, thinking of the details, when it's like in reality, do the work and prove you can do you can do it and make the money, and then do the LLC, or whatever other thing. Basically, it doesn't have to be perfect or well thought out before you can start. Like just start. But when you listed all the failures, I thought I would be scared to say or to acknowledge my failures to everyone, or like be embarrassed or something. But I'm pretty excited because it just means I'm that much smarter today than I was when I started it a year ago.
Well, and that being said, that's the hardest thing about what I see. One not competitive advantage, but an advantage that we have is look at like Alex Hormozi, who his thing is like, oh, I wish Elon, Bezos, Zuckerberg, I wish they would have documented their journey to $1 billion, but they did not. So I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. But he's still a 9-figure millionaire. So it's like, where's the resonance there? we have officially started a business that is generating now, and it's only been the past like 2-3 months, over over $2,000 net, so it's not much, but it's not been a consistent thing to where we're still growing to where we haven't hit our cap of how much we can handle before we start thinking of like expansion and stuff. And at the end of the day, the only cap now that we see is because our product is good, our work is good, it's comparable, and it works in a marketplace. There's issues, of course, but this is what I tell people is that now I've been pro business, pro entrepreneur guy for like 4 years, and that shit, when you like have no like literal showing of success in it, that makes you feel like crap. Like it'd be like me being obese, but I'm like, yeah, you guys need to eat keto. Hey,
to what extent?
Don't cut out, because if you cut out, it messes up the ability to make shorts of content. FYI. I was gonna, maybe she won't do it a bunch, but he's like a third time he's done, don't do it, I'll do the same to you. No, I don't. I just gave you a while to talk. Anyways, no, I lost my train of thought.
4-year entrepreneur guy.
Yeah, failing, and it sucks. And I believe in it, and I tell everybody that's what they need to be doing. I mean, I know that's not the truth, but it feels good that now it's literally like, oh, this works.
Wait,
this system works.
I have a question for you though. You're 4-year and you're saying failed, and I understand the definition of like a failed business, but you're not saying that you started 4 ventures and you made $0 in them. Like you got some traction in them.
Yeah, personal training, I got traction in. I might have broke $2,000, which realistically isn't shit. Like, let's be real, $2,000 isn't. But that was like, I remember when I was doing personal training, that kind of almost felt like cap. And through all those, that is, and this is a topic for another one, but that is the greatest lesson in entrepreneurship, at least for me, is that growing up, in full transparency, used drugs and alcohol to hide from failure and rejection. I used that to just numb myself to fear and rejection. And I can't run a business using drugs and alcohol. So I teach drum, maybe other people can, whatever. I cannot. So I just don't. And that has forced me to deal with fear and rejection. And I was just telling a friend yesterday, that's literally the process that I watch myself, is that when I send out photos for critique, I mean, you remember 3-4 months ago, I was like, they didn't respond right away, they don't like it, I'm a failure.
And this is when he'll send the photos out and 30 minutes have passed and no response, and I'm like, I could just be busy. But I get it, I do the same thing.
Yeah. So anyways, that's where it's just another one of those things of why I love entrepreneurship, because it puts you front and center with your insecurities. Maybe it's just mine, but it feels like it does, because it's on you, right? Like everything's on you.
You're putting yourself through the ringer.
You can't say, oh, it's your boss's fault, oh, it's the corporate's fault. Like, you can't blame anybody else for not being successful. But that's also the pro, because I believe that a lot of people that are in their W-2 that don't enjoy their W-2 life isn't necessarily, there's a lot of reasons, shitty boss, shitty work environment, whatever. But one of the reasons is you can work your ass off and you're still keeping your fingers crossed. I hope I get a raise. I hope I get a bonus. And then you don't.
I'm in there.
And then what? Right. Most people have. And that's a crappy feeling. I don't want that feeling. Like, I would rather, like, all the stress that comes with this, but know that, hey, with this stress, it's not a direct, like, I'm stressing, everything's gonna get better. No. But that stress is like, oh, I'm learning right now. And if this stress continues where it's at, then, okay, at some point I'm gonna get used to this stress, which is gonna calm my mind a little bit and be like, okay, how can I get myself away from this piece that we're in? Like, there's always a ladder to climb that I'm in control in, that as a W-2 employee, it's kind of like, show up, here's what you do, and hope to God that we grew. You may be doing your job perfectly. You may be the reason that the company is staying afloat. But if if it didn't overall grow, I don't have extra money to give you. Thanks. You did a great job. Yeah, I'll give you a recommendation if you ever decide to leave. Thanks. Right? And that's something I've just been thinking about. Like, well, I don't want that. I'll take the stress of this any and every day for that benefit of I'm in control of where this goes.
Well, I am not even at a full year of entrepreneurship. So, however, I do think that it is surprising, and I really think it's just because I'm partnered with you, and I know that you're not one of those people who try to, like, you're a serial entrepreneur and you just try and do different things with all these pipe dreams. Like, you really want, like, to not sugarcoat it. You're just so hard on yourself that you're always like, okay, what am I doing wrong? What can I do better? That I think that helped me easily transition it from being so W-2 to, wait, I think I can do this. And all transparency, and I feel like this is like one of the biggest reasons somebody would have a hard time thinking about having their own business and working for themselves rather than working for someone else, is that it's literally all on you. And I guess I know when I'm working a W-2 job, I'm a really hard worker. I will go above and beyond. But can I do that for myself? Can I really remove the safety net and like put myself through the ringer and then, do the same and then succeed and my bills will get paid? It scared me, And
it is scary. If there's another piece of advice that I wish that I will preach from the fucking rooftop, do not start a business in debt. You can leverage debt. I'm not saying don't do that, because this photo business, how I originally got the camera, I bought it on Amazon. And it was like, for all the equipment, I think I was paying maybe like $400 a month. And it was just kind of like, at the time I'd already had an agent I was doing photos for, and like, so I'd already kind of had the payments figured and set up. But realistically, like, maybe plan on not being able to pay that. If it's that low, like you should be able to find a way. Or if you have your W-2 that's paying for that, like that, I think that's fine, especially if it's zero interest. But to already have some consumer debt, and mind you, our consumer debt, which by the way, we're due to like paying off like $45,000 of debt within like 6 months. It'll probably be like 9 months.
Yeah.
And your consumer debt is just remnants of the past, if you will. I don't know if you want to phrase it any better. Mine actually isn't necessarily consumer debt. There's some things that I could have been better about. We went on that trip for my birthday 2 years ago that we probably shouldn't have. It wasn't like a lavish trip, but it probably cost us like $500 that we probably shouldn't have done. But the majority of it was business expenses, courses, business cards, all kinds of shit. Real estate is a $2,000 a year just to hold your license business, by the way. Maybe there's a little flexibility in that depending on the state, depending on the brokerage, but for me it was about a $2,000 a year just to hold my license, and that was sucking me dry. And just other things that it was like, okay, how can I learn? Even when I had more money and I was doing fitness, it was, okay, what's stopping me? I need to pay this. I spent like, God, dude, easy 20 grand on fitness courses. Easy. And it was all just, okay, I need to be that, I need to be this, I need to be that. And that's the biggest thing that I don't think is talked about enough in a lot of businesses, is the lead generation piece. That needs to be like, before you even consider looking up how do I form an LLC, figure out how to get leads. Figure out your number one way to get leads in your business.
I was fortunate to have the background of learning that.
Yeah.
From my last job was just the one thing that was like reamed into the agents' heads, and so that's what stuck out to me. So I knew that that's what it was, and that's probably also why I was set up to have an easier transition. Like I was saying earlier, I feel like it was easier because, one, you just have a lot of confidence and conviction in what you do, and
me?
Yeah, you do. You say personal training was failed, and yet anything anytime anyone comes to you with anything that's wrong with their body, you can break it down to the muscular level and what they're doing in their day-to-day, what they're doing with their diet. Same way that you have the same conviction and confidence when you talk about real estate. So Robert's like the first person to always just put out there, oh, by the way, this is my first listing. By the way, this is my first residential listing. And yet, the common response that he gets is, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you've been studying the market for a really long time and you know what you're talking about. And I feel like that's why it was kind of easy for me to let go, because I'd be like, at least Robert can help lift me up in the sense of when I feel really, really discouraged, which you do a really great job of, because I feel discouraged a lot. But there's that, and then the lead gen piece. And what's cool is like he doesn't favor the lead gen piece, and I don't mind it at all. So I think that's why we were able to get this business up and running pretty well. We're pretty good at playing with, you know, our strengths and weaknesses. And
I'd say a moral of that, because not everybody's gonna have a wife that they can do it with, is get a good partner. Don't go alone. Even in real estate, my partner is somebody who's been doing it for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
And he's a partner. We call each other partners, and we have each other's back for sure. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's not a partnership like we have. Like you
our businesses together.
Our businesses together. That's a better way to put it. I don't know. And that the purpose of this one is just get the ball rolling. And there's obvious better ways to do podcasts and stuff, because our conversations are all over the place. Well aware, we'll improve, but you just got to start.
Restart.
But the premise of it is just, and what it is that I want to put out there. This is going on my YouTube. I'll make you shorts, or I'll have AI do it. Probably just gonna use AI. I want to try that out. That's also why I didn't want you to cut me out, because I want to see how that works. I don't want them to have any confusion. I want to see how that. There's a software, I forget its name, but it'll do $25 for you a month for free.
Really?
Yeah. Right. Then I need to try it out. Anyways, so but it's almost like Alex Hormozi. Forgive me for sounding like I don't know, what would that be? Is that pompous? I don't know what that'd be. Arrogant? Not arrogant, but like I could compare to Alex Hormozi. But at the end of the day, I can't. Why not? I could be Bezos if I wanted. Don't think so. Sounds like it's too much work, to be honest. I want to have a family, and I don't need billions of dollars for the things I want to do. So I don't think so. But I do have big goals compared to 99% of what people have. And I want to share as much as I can about the things that we are learning through that process. And that's just kind of the intent, is like, that's what I got. That's it. You know, I don't know anything. I can't say, well, what you need to do is you need to stop your LLC and you need to form an S Corp, because an S Corp gives you more I don't know. I don't know any of this. But what I do know is this. I do know, if you are considering starting a business and you don't have any assets, maybe you own a home or something, but if you're renting, whatever, you don't need an LLC. I can say that now. I can make some content out of this. You do not need an LLC if you ain't got shit. Go make money. I love that. Go make money. It's so simple. Go make money. And so
Our CPA told us that.
Yeah. So go make money.
It's so funny is he's like he kind of asked why were these LLCs formed and there was nothing going on with them and you have a business, and his thing was like, well, you know, it sucks that people get brought into the business world that way. Like they think you need to do all these things, but in the end, it's just go out there and make some money. Just go do it. But I want to go back to what you said about is it pompous or arrogant for you to try and compare yourself to Hormozi and Bezos, and I think it's a great awareness to know you want to be as big, and to know you don't exactly want the exact lifestyle. For one, I think that's pretty great. And then for two, I don't think it's pompous and arrogant. I realized the other day that when we have these big people that we look up to, or we compare ourselves to someone who they just have something about themselves that is just more than what we know we have, what I know I have. There's this thing that happens where that person is so big, and that has to mean that because they're so big and I'm in awe of them, I'm this small. And if you want to get that big and you believe in yourself, which I think you need to be fully aware of that if you're trying to be in a place where you want to get that big, that successful, or that, I don't want to say celebrity type or popular, basically that big or successful. You have to believe that in yourself, and you have to see that. And so don't do the, I need to automatically humble myself and think I'm small. Humble yourself, yeah, because you do that all the time. You're always able to humble yourself and work and work and work and work.
Oh,
but you have to believe, I know you believe it. I didn't. I realize I do that all the time, is that I'm in awe of these people and I'm trying to get to where they're gonna be, and I realize there's a huge disconnect. I'm never gonna be like Hormozis or like Gary Vee or anything like that if I don't believe that there is something special in myself to get there. What was it that you were saying, that people who are entrepreneurs and they end up having it all and being successful are the ones who knew they weren't like anybody else. So how would I get or be able to reach success in that level if I am behaving like, oh, but I'm down here and there's quite a lot more steps that are gonna need to happen, and I don't believe in myself,
I like to think you don't need to believe in yourself. I think, and I could be wrong, but I have come to learn and believe that the only belief that you need to have,
that it's in you.
Not even that you're not going to quit.
Oh, that's a really good one too, yeah.
Like, and albeit people around you may suffer. Sorry. But what is more suffering for myself and then the people around me? Me suffering, giving up,
or
settling, or me suffering by keeping pushing on. And that's another three phrase sentence that I love. Three word sentence that I love. I don't stop. That's really it. Like, you just every day, no matter what you do, you're gonna be faced with some kind of like sadness and stuff. Most days, there's gonna be some kind of shit in it, and I don't think it's avoiding the shit or the bad feelings or the negative ones. It's like, okay, in this negative feeling, am I moving myself closer to a person, to a life that I would be excited to be in? I don't even want to use happy. Excited to be in. Because you don't even necessarily know if you're going to be happy in it. But you're in a pursuit to where you, I guess, are excited to be alive. You know that you get to die, at 90, 80, 90, whatever, and be like, gee, fuck yeah, damn, I never built that moon base, whatever, Elon Musk, whatever, but I gave it my best shot. I tried my hardest, and again, I don't know, because even as I'm saying that, I can imagine people that did do that, and they're like, damn, I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I would have, X, Y, and Z. That's probably the most common one. So it's also balancing those things, and being okay with where you're at now. That's something that I hear these successful people, a lot of them say, is that if there was anything that I could do differently, it's not all the failures that I had, but it's in those failures telling myself, hey, it's okay to enjoy this. Like, this time that you're broke and that you feel like you suck and you're learning all these things, it's okay. It's okay to enjoy this. Like, you you can have fun, you know? And that's something that sticks with me
Yeah.
because I'm so like, I gotta get the work done. And it's like, yeah, you get the work done, but like have some fun doing it. So I try to goof around and be a goofball and stuff when I do stuff and not take it too seriously, which is easier said than done. But yeah, I just hope that through the things that we share, the journey that we're on, and the lessons that we get to go through and we're fortunate to go through, we get to inspire other people that may be potentially thinking about doing their own business, actual tangible tools to do it. And that my hope is that there's less of a disconnect from us now to do it, and that as we continue to grow, we're able to bring on other people that we then can say, okay, now it's your turn. You need to do the same thing that we did, because we're making $2,000 a month, a little bit more now. We actually this month we're even $4,000 a month. That's not that much. But that being said, we're working maybe 5 hours on average a day, if that.
Exactly. The ratio is that much money.
Yeah.
We haven't had appointments every single day. I haven't had to lead gen in a while because our calendars each week had been filled with repeats and referrals.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
That felt really cool. And we're
in school too.
We're not counting my W-2 right now, which is just a couple hours a day.
Yeah.
And yes, and we're in school.
Yeah. So we have a lot going on.
And have a daughter.
And that's a whole podcast in itself, is why this and why. But this one, I just hey yo, like welcome to Wild Caught Rob's channel. If you like this information, go ahead, like, subscribe, and do the thing, because yeah, we're gonna be sharing a lot of our failures and lessons from us trying to become entrepreneurs, and try to keep. Well, I don't know if you can see my feet there. Never mind. Anyways, that's what we're gonna do. That's what I hope to do. I hope you're on board with that. That's what I'm gonna put on my YouTube channel. Obviously, I'll make you stuff. That's all I got. Because I don't, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I don't love photography. I'm not a photographer. Like, I'm not like, oh, like the artsy, like it's just basic principles, just like anything else that you do. You don't have to be a mathematician to be good at math. All you have to do is understand the laws and rules.
Well, the thing is, photography is that you know how to do it.
It's just it's just rules.
You know how to get paid for it too.
Yeah.
And 3, the point is, like we said, we're in school, and it's something that's tangible. It's a business that we're able to run. It has flexibility in it for us to still be able to go to school, and it's a viable business enough that it's giving us the business knowledge that we've been seeking and needing, rather than just watching how people have done it or buying a course in it. This is literally giving us the personal first-hand experience, and stuff like that. And even if, on my deathbed, whatever it is that I went after, and I know I didn't stop at, I just, honestly, I think, and it might sound really little, but I think about the amount of kids I talk to now, how many kids are in my family, how many kids I'd like to have, and just, if our families continue to grow, for someone to be able to say, hey, I think I want to start something, or I think I want to do this, and we're able to share our experience, because I can't tell you how many things that, and I'm just speaking for myself, I'm pretty sure it's different for other families. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to think of going on a different path in life, and it kind of stops there because I don't really have resources around me to ask, because majority of the people around me are doing the same thing, No one really ventured out, and great if you have that resource and people in your family, but hey, if I don't have it now, then at least I can be that for future whoever. Yeah, there's other ways, like we just said. Realistically, we could probably, between the two of us in this business, I think our cap, without having more employees, without like where we're at right now, there's so much. It's a business, so there's obviously tweaks and stuff that we can make to make more, but realistically, our cap right now is probably like $140,000 a year. Between, actually no, because realistically I could do 3 jobs a day, and if that's just me, that's 15 3,000, so 3,000, 12, so never mind. Between the two of us, we could probably hit 200,000, like
realistically,
Yeah.
no problem. Which is comparable to what like a nurse would make, right? So that was the biggest thing, is that now that's like, and I could be wrong, but that's like the number one reason, at least from my world, why people go to school, or what they go to school for, is a nurse, because it's
Yeah.
guaranteed. You do this, you get a job as a nurse, you're good. You're pretty much set for life. Like, you, congratulations, you can pretty much take care of yourself. You got 2 spouses that do that, you're good. Like, you're guaranteed to be good. Health isn't going anywhere. But that being said, I know a lot of nurses that aren't particularly happy, and it's not even if they are. It's just, for me, this is a skill that I want. I'm cool if I don't know how to be a bedside nurse for the rest of my life, but I'm not cool if I don't know how to run and operate a business, and I can't share with people that do. And this isn't the business that we're going to do for 10 years. This isn't the business that's going to get me the things that I want to be able to provide for you and our kids. It's not. But it's going to allow us to have the benefits of business ownership, as well as learning how to eventually create a new business and scale it to something that can be literal world changing. That's where I'm at. So God, maybe I'm going Bezos, I don't know, but that's where we are. That's where we're going, I suppose.
This is a business experiment one.
To failure.
For us. And you know what?
And fuck LLCs and fuck debt.
The goal that we had for this business experiment,
Not LLCs, they have a place, but fuck debt. Fuck consumer debt.
is doing that for us. Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the goal we had for it, and it's already what's the word? It's already sped up the process. The timeline we gave ourselves was the end of the year.
Yeah.
We got this business going, and we are set to cut the time in half. Which to me, hey, great success. To me, that's amazing success.
Dude, not even just
to
that.
not be crippled by what we have
I was telling Tony, so
for the rest of the year.
at our peak, so back in December, we were paying probably about $800 in interest.
And those are numbers I shield from my ears, and he's like, I don't want to do this, it's painful.
That's with balance transfers, right? That is, we could have got a Tesla. Like, that's a shit. If we would have saved that money between now and then, that's like $6,000. That is, well, not $6,000, December 4, so whatever, that's $3,200, right? That we could have, so many things, that if we would have put in the stock market in December, we would already be up 20% if we put it in the S&P 500. Like, it's skyrocketed since September or December, November. And anyways, that's shit, no. That, and the fact that come the end of April, by the grace of God, we will still have debt, but it will all be on zero interest. And even if we somehow don't pay off the remaining like 6,000 or 7,000, even if we don't pay that off in time, by the time, which is next to impossible, we're still not getting charged. You know, now it's like $400 a month. That just sucks, dude.
It does.
That sucks. When I'm telling you, we can't go buy this, can't go buy that. But meanwhile, Visa and their $1 billion, whoever the hell collects those payments, is just like.
At this, I am embarrassed to admit that, because he voices out, we need to pay this month because we need to avoid this amount of interest. Like, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. And me, I know that interest percentages come with credit cards. But do I really know? No, I didn't know. I didn't even know you could know the amount. And that's really sad. Like, to me, that's the normal, right? You finance your furniture, you get credit cards, and you must be doing great if you're able to apply for another credit card and then get approved for it. So that has to mean that you're great with your finances. But in reality, like, when he said that, I wanted to throw up. I didn't, and I didn't even know.
That's terrible, dude. That's one of the biggest lies in America, I think. That's something else, obviously, that is going to be on this channel. Because, dude, I can't. And we are so lucky in so many ways, because it takes people years to get through that. And And then that's just the beginning, because then it's like, okay, cool, we can start saving now. But that's another reason why I like business. Because that's how it's happened. It's like, yeah, that's how we got it in the first place. A lot of it, at least a lot of it on my end. But it's what's allowed us to skyrocket out of it. You know, I may have had all these failures before you, and we've had the failures together, but they're just stepping stones, you know, and you don't necessarily see yourself walking up the stairs until you start seeing what's over on the other side, and you're like, oh wow. And then, you know, obviously we got to, like, I don't know, the little balcony on the stairs, and we're like, oh cool, this is nice right here, but it ain't good enough. Still stinks down here. We still got that big ass thing to climb, but hey, it's good enough for right now. We're gonna relax for like one day and then keep moving once we get out of it. Yeah. Anyways, cool. That was good.
Like, subscribe, do the thing.